Hi guys, I'm back with another Swift topic that I know most of us beginners had a hard time understanding the concept of generics. I made this video to help you understand generics, and I hope you will have a better understanding of the topic at the end of the video. Generics in programming languages had been around for a long time. You can find it in many different programming languages like C Sharp, Java, C++, Python, and many others. This video is intended for absolute Swift beginners and for those seeking to understand this concept further. Now, let me describe what generic is in simple terms. Generics is a programming style where you write a template code that you write once and use with many other data type parameters. Generics has a different name in other languages like C++ and D, where it's called templates. As you spend more time in programming, you will become more concerned if your code is clean and easy to read. A clean code matters especially when you're part of a team who is also going to work on the code you have written. There are many ways of achieving an easy to read and easy to change code. And one of them is using generic types and methods. If you find yourself copying and pasting the same code everywhere, it means that it is time for you to improve your code by making it shorter and more readable. Now, let us talk about the parts of a generic code. After the method name, we have the letter T surrounded by angled brackets. The T is called a type parameter. In other words, it is a placeholder name that will be replaced by a concrete type when it is used. The T in between angled brackets is declaring that it expects a certain type represented by T. The type parameter could be anything from a single letter, if you are unable to find a more appropriate name. Otherwise, assign it with a meaningful name that represents the concrete types. Let us look at another example. Tesla is an electric car brand with different car models, and we created a class to represent their car models. Our example is a valid class with a model property and expects a Model X type. Normally, when you're writing your types, you would start with something concrete like this. But since we know that there are other models out there other than Model X, how can we create something different or a different Tesla car model using this class? Obviously, there are many ways to do that, but since we are talking about generics, let's go ahead and make the Tesla class generic. After the class name, you will enclose a type parameter name within angled brackets. This first step makes a class or method generic. Now you, the developer, will have to come up with the type parameter names, and you make sure these names will make sense to the developer who is going to use your generic code. Then we replace the concrete Model X with the model placeholder name. So after making some changes to our original code, now we have a generic Tesla class and it is ready to be used. So here we have our generic Tesla type with the model type parameter. At the bottom, we are now using the generic class. We have declared a variable of the Tesla type. We added the angled brackets with the concrete type parameter in declaring the variable. This tells the compiler to find and replace the model type parameter with the concrete type. If you have done a find and replace on a text editor, you should understand what is happening here. Then on the next line, we set the Model X instance in the initializer parameter. Then when the code is compiled, the placeholder names will be replaced with the concrete Model X type. If we have more than one concrete parameter types, the model type parameter will either be replaced by the concrete Model X or Model 3 concrete types. Then when you hit run or build on Xcode, that causes code compilation. The Tesla class will be specialized for the Model X or Model 3. So you write one template code, and then the compiler will take care of finding and replacing the placeholder types with the concrete types for you as shown in the previous slide. Now, let us talk about type constraints. You can optionally enforce or set a constraint on the type parameter. For example, you're writing the code and someone in your team will use it. To make sure that your teammates would pass in the correct concrete type, you can add a type constraint. Xcode then enforces this constraint when your code is used so that the correct data type is used with your generic code. In our example, the constraint expects the concrete type to be a subclass of a field type. Your constraint can be a class, a struct, or a protocol. And here's another example with a protocol. Now, let's do a recap. Generics is a programming style where placeholders are used instead of concrete types so that only one template code exists. Then at compile time, the placeholder types will be replaced by concrete types. Using generics is one of many ways you can avoid repetition of code in your app's code. If you liked this video, leave a like or a comment and let me know if the way I presented a topic have helped you understand the concept more. And then subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button. Then don't forget to click the bell icon to receive notifications when a new video is uploaded.